Political specialist Sean Boyd joins us now tonight. And Sean, you've been closely following the governor's race for months. Are you surprised by how the results came out tonight?
Not that Polis won, but that this race wasn't closer. You know, the lack of Republican engagement this election is something we haven't seen in a decade at least. Then there was the high turnout among unaffiliated voters who typically sit the bench in midterm elections. They not only voted, they clearly voted Democrat up and down the ballot. The straight ticket voting gave Democrats a clean sweep. They control the state House, Senate, and governor's seat. Polis addressed concerns of overreach in his speech tonight.
We're going to do this all together as a team. From the western slope to the eastern plains to southern Colorado to the Front Range, Republicans, independents, Democrats, Greens, Libertarians, and those Coloradans who chose not even to vote. Because you know what? All too often in campaigns, people see it falsely as a zero-sum game. Us versus them. One wins, the other loses. But you know what? For this transition, and as we move into governing, we're going to show that we can all win together. I want us all to win.
Dominic Garcia is at the Democratic headquarters tonight, and Dom, a lot to celebrate there.
Sean, 2 hours after Polis gave his victory speech, this place is still pretty packed. And I'd say what stood out most during that speech was the message he made to the LGBTQ community. We spoke to some members of that community who says his election is an inspiration.
Polis, the next governor of Colorado.
Seeing an openly gay governor is just another testament to the work that we've done.
Daniel Ramos is very open about his story.
I came out when I was 13 years old in rural Colorado, you know, as maybe one of the only gay people in my community.
Back then, he'd probably think you were joking if you said Colorado would have an openly gay governor.
What an incredible night!
These days, he's the executive director of One Colorado, the state's leading LGBTQ advocacy group. He says Polis has already showed he'll fight for equality.
He introduced the Equality Act, which would have provided federal protections for LGBTQ folks in areas of housing and employment. He introduced the Student Non-Discrimination Act to make sure that we had federal protections for LGBTQ young people to be protected from bullying in their schools.
But he's also quick to point out there's still a lot that needs to be done.
While some states have protections, that there are many folks living across this country who are not protected. They're being denied housing. They're being denied employment or employment opportunities.
Daniel says Polis's election will have a huge impact on young people.
To know that they can be elected to a statewide office, to know that they can run for public office, to know that them and their families will be valued and affirmed for who they are.
God bless Colorado.
Jared Polis promised to hit the ground running. As far as some of his constituents, they might be sleeping in. This could be a late night for some of them. Sean?
Thanks, Dom. Let's head now to the Republican headquarters where Kathy Walsh is. And Kathy, boy, a short-lived party there tonight.
Absolutely. And, you know, the most interesting race, I think, was Walker Stapleton. He wanted to break that GOP losing streak. He wanted to vault from treasurer to governor, as Bill Owens had done so successfully before. Well, it wasn't in the cards, but he was gracious in his concession speech.
I will always be grateful for the wonderful opportunities that Colorado has afforded and continues to afford me. I have been blessed by this state, and I am grateful to every single one of you who has supported me through the years and in this campaign. I love Colorado, and I will continue to serve Colorado and causes greater than ourselves that bring us closer together as Coloradans.
No word on specific plans for Stapleton at this point, how he will continue to serve Colorado, but he did warn his wife and children that he will be around a whole lot more. I think he's actually looking forward to that. Jim, Karen?
I think so, too. Thanks, Kathy. You know, the lack of Republican enthusiasm this election is something the GOP is going to be unpacking in the days ahead. 2020 campaign starts tomorrow.